So comics have always been an important part of our media culture that have spanned generations and have taken many shapes and forms. However, despite the ever-growing popularity of superhero and comic book related media, publishers seem to be really struggling to reach the next generation of comic book readers, and I definitely think that there are some reasons for that, and I would like to, in a later video, perhaps get into some of the issues from a publishing perspective. However, today I really want to dive a little bit into the YouTube comic book community and why I think there are some issues bringing in new readers from that angle as well. So recently there's been a lot of drama at the forefront of the YouTube comic book community. I'm not going to name any names or give specific details about what was going on. These types of videos were getting more attention than people actually talking about comic books. I think a big reason for that, why these are getting the views, this is what people are tuning into, is because a lot of comic book YouTubers are not making content for anyone other than comic book fans. Like, everyone has their own way of collecting. They already have their way, they've been doing it for 30 plus years, because that's who's watching comic book YouTube. It's the people who have been in the hobby. So I think a lot of people tuning into comic book YouTube are a lot more interested in the people making the content. They want the face that's presenting the comics. They want your insight. I think that a lot of people are excited about anything that's different because, you know, only so many unboxing videos you can do before it gets kind of old and tiring. There are only so many of those videos people are going to want to watch because attention spans are so low. And that's why this comic book content isn't really getting the traction that it deserves, because a lot of comic book fans that are watching this, they know about this stuff. They've made up their mind about whether it's something they're interested in. They don't necessarily need to hear 10 different YouTubers talk about it. But drama, personal stuff, I mean, that's like reality TV. People tune into that. No matter what niche you're in, there's going to be drama. That's always going to get the attention. That's just how it works. And of course, I don't want it to be that way. I think a lot of people don't want it to be that way. I think a lot of us are here because we love comics and we want to share that and we want to hopefully inspire people. There's certainly a shift going on right now in the YouTube comic book space as a result of all this drama, and there seems to be a lot of questioning of what people really want to watch. I think what it really boils down to is that the comic book community online is just too niche, and there really isn't a lot being done to reach those people outside of the niche who don't know about these stories that are coming out. I mean, everyone can make a video about Absolute Batman, but if you are active in this space at all, if you're watching comic YouTube, you already know about this. You probably have your mind made up. And I know that I did inspire some people to pick up that comic. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I talk about this. So I think what we should take from this is that what people want from the comic book community are real people. They want people. They want more than just the niche, because we as people are so much more. I'm sure a lot of the content creators out there have a lot more that they're interested in. And I'm sure a lot of the time people have come up with video ideas that they've scrapped because they don't think that their audience will respond to it the way that they want. And I don't think that that should be the goal. But what we can do is we can be positive symbols for the community. And I'm not saying to be positive about everything. I'm not saying toxic positivity or anything like that. Tell it like it is, but by being there and being authentic and being you, that's going to bring more people in. And by sharing other aspects of your personality, you can potentially bring in other people who don't know about these stories. There can be a downside to being too niche, and I think that that's because a lot of the time people are more interested in what you're showing than actually you as a person and what you're saying. I know that because of the videos I make, because of me and my bold personality, I might not be necessarily everyone's cup of tea. And that's okay with me because I don't want to appeal to everyone. I don't want people who don't really like me subscribing because those will wind up being inactive subscribers someday. I mean, the people who watch me, who comment regularly, who watch every video, like those people are here for me. And that's my approach. I love comics, and that's the main thing I want to talk about because that's what I spend most of my time thinking about. I'm not setting out to be a comic book channel. I mean, I called my channel Gotham&Glam, and that's because that's me. I mean, I know I'd probably get more traction if I threw the word comics in there. That's what most people do, and that's fine, but like, for me, that's not this channel. So yes, this channel is mostly about comics, but at the end of the day, it's about me, and it's what I choose to post. If there's nothing happening in comics that interests me, I don't have to force anything. I could just make a video talking about anything I want, talking about whatever music I've been listening to. And even if I know that those videos aren't going to get the same traction as some of the other videos do. An example that comes to mind is someone like Moist Critical or Penguin Zero on YouTube. Essentially, this guy has no niche. I mean, he does a lot of gaming content. He started as a gaming channel. I remember first finding him way back in the day through his gameplay of QWOP, the really bad racing game that had some weird physics going on. And, you know, people like him, people gravitate to him because of his personality, because of that dry sense of humor, that delivery. He certainly influences people. I mean, there's no doubt that people go out and see movies he recommends, buy games he recommends, fast food, because people were gravitated to him. People didn't subscribe to him back in the day because he was playing QWOP. People subscribed to him because he's just a funny guy, he's unproblematic, and people just like what he does. People trust his word, they trust his insight. So he can make whatever video he wants. And I think that more people should adopt that. Like, yes, of course, I'm not going to get the views that Moist Critical does, for sure. But I think that diversifying your content over time will definitely help maximize the variety of people you bring into your community. And that allows you the power, dare I say, to influence those people. Once you build that community and you have people who are there for you and who trust your word, then those people will be influenced by what you say. And I know that I've made an impact on people. However small in the grand scheme it might be, I've gotten people to read comics. I've gotten people who had no idea about any of this to take a look and to become interested in it. I've influenced people to buy new comics that they didn't know about or weren't sure if they were going to pick up. I mean, I've gotten so many people into metal music. I've gotten people into movies, collecting Blu-ray. Just by me being here, putting myself out, being myself, I've made an impact on some people. And I think that's really cool. And something like that is what motivates me and gets me to come out here and shoot my shit and say what I have to say. I took a bit of a social media break about a year back. I just kind of ghosted everything. I privated all my YouTube videos. I temporarily disabled my Instagram. Like, I actually thought I was going to give it up, and it was actually through some very nice people reaching out to me and, you know, who were wondering where my videos were, who were concerned about me and just wanted to make sure I was okay. And that kind of stuff really just kept me going, and that really showed me that whatever I'm doing, however small in the grand scheme of YouTube, I'm making an impact in somebody's life, and it's noticed when I'm not around. And so stuff like that really makes you think. It really makes you think that, like, it's not important. To me, it's not a numbers game. To me, it's just about reaching as many people as I can to talk about some of the cool stuff I like. Something I find interesting, because I have a lot of opinions, and I like sharing those opinions. The point I want to make is, if you have something to say and you think it might provide some value, just do it. Even if it doesn't go the way you expect it. The chance that you might make an impact is worth it. It's worth the risk of taking a hit or maybe losing a couple subscribers, because those people aren't necessarily people you want to have around. That's just my take on it. And of course, who am I? I mean, I have a small channel. I'm not necessarily trying to grow. I'm breaking pretty much all the rules of YouTube here, because that's just who I am. But there are people who are listening, and there are people who I know would notice if I dropped off tomorrow. Probably a lot more than the last time I did it. Nearly double the followers on Instagram since that time a year ago. So I think, you know, people would notice. People noticed way back in the day when I was just a kid in high school doing this. I had people I met on other social media platforms tell me that they watched my videos. Like, just people I randomly stumbled across who said that they used to watch my videos. So it's just like, you never know what impact you could be making. So maybe don't hold back some of those ideas you have. So of course, just do you. If you're someone who just loves to do unboxing videos, then keep it up, because you know what? You are getting the word out there in whatever way you can, and I think that's awesome. I think everyone who's interested in this hobby should do their part and, you know, reach out, because we need it. We need this hobby to survive. And I don't like saying this, but if you could, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, it would really go a long way. YouTube really does not like my channel recently, and there are some pretty fair reasons as to why, but I'm not worried about it. I just want to help as many people out there as I can. Things are not what they used to be with the comic collecting YouTube space. I think there's certainly a path forward that is maybe different than what people are used to, and maybe it's not what people necessarily want to hear right now, but I think, you know, give it a few years, and I think we're going to see a big shift in this online space, and I'm really hoping that there can be more done to bring new people in. I really want to see this community grow and thrive. I want new books to keep being made. I want new generations to keep reading comics, and of course, definitely a lot from the publisher end that they need to be doing as well. But it is, I feel, a responsibility to come out here and to share my thoughts and to show you the books that I think are cool. And I think that everyone else who makes content in this space can agree with that. So just at the end of the day, do you. Be authentic, and people will see that. Even if it's not as many, it's not the number you want, those are going to be the real people that you want in your community. And I think I'm going to end it here, but I hope maybe someone out there could get some value from this, and thank you so much.